Welcome to our history tape number 217. We're taping this on February the 8th, 1994, for showing on our February the 22nd, beginning on that date for 2 weeks. And we're still into our wonderful celebration of Black History Month. And we're very excited today to have a wonderful lady that is so meaningful in the Dalworth community, and we're just very pleased to welcome Johnny Stanton to the set. Welcome, Johnny. We're glad to have you with us, my dear.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
All right. Johnny Stanton, you do a real wonderful work as an employee of the city, but then wearing other hats in the community and doing your extracurricular contributions to the community. It's outstanding, and we thought it would just be very fitting to have you represent the Black community for the latter part of this wonderful History Month that we're celebrating. So we're so glad to have you with us, and we'd just like for you to look out into your camera, and we're going to begin the interview with you by letting you establish your genealogy by telling us as much about your parents and your siblings as you'd like to talk about, and tell us where you were born and some of the good stuff about Johnny Stanton several years ago.
Okay, my name is Johnny Stanton. My hometown is Pittsburgh, Texas, and that is in the county in the deep heart of the East. We always call it the Hot Link town. So that's where the famous hot links are made. I went to school and finished school at Fred Douglass High School in Pittsburgh. And from there, I went to Tyler Barber College. In later years, I came to Grand Prairie, Texas. And in Pittsburgh is where I said that is definite home. And I always like to go back there. And my family still live there. And my mother was named Florine Pitts Johnson, and my father, Goley Johnson. My sister, Golene Johnson, now.
All right, where does Golene live?
Golene lives in Dallas.
Oh, in Dallas. She's nearby.
Yes, she is. She lives in Dallas.
Oh, okay, that's wonderful. All right, but now let's get back a little farther than your mother and father. Is there any special person, you have any grandparents you'd like to remember on this tape?
Yes, ma'am, surely would. My grandparents, my grandfather was one of my favorite, but my main hero was my grandmother.
Wonderful.
My grandmother was Emma Pitts. And I do have a picture here.
Let's hold Emma Pitts up and see if we can get the camera to clue in on her. Wouldn't she be excited if she knew that her picture was going to be shown on television many long years after she has left this wonderful earth? And that's Emma Pitts Johnson, or
Emma Pitts.
Emma Pitts was your grandmother.
Yes,
okay. Was she down in the Pittsburgh area also?
Yes, ma'am, she was. She was born and reared in that area. She was born in the early 1800s, and she died in 1956.
All right. Now, your parents, what did your dad do for a living, and what did you do down in Pittsburgh?
In Pittsburgh, I went to school, and after I came from school, I barbered there in the town.
Oh, that was exciting.
Yes, ma'am, it was very exciting.
Yes.
And right now I still, think about those times. And we was always a very, close family. And so many things that my grandmother taught me and told me, I realize on those things now. And because one thing was respect, and one of the other things was of being on time and being a good citizen. And I think about that when I go to my work. I like to always try to be on time. Any place that I'm going, I try to be on time. And that is one thing that she taught me. And also of doing work, try to do your work well. It's just so many things that she taught me. And I always said that she was a teacher, a mother, a grandmother, a counselor, and she was many things And what was very touching and to me, she could not read nor write, but she taught us, I said, the way of life, how to get along with people. And I think about how she would work. She worked hard, she and my grandfather, and they accomplished a lot. They had their own home, farm, and it was just amazing, you know, the things that they did with uneducated, but still she had wisdom, you know, from God, and she was a very spiritual person, and she totally believed in prayer. So that's one of the things that I go on today is prayer. Everything that I try to do, I try to put prayer, you know, first, and so that was some of her teaching.
And speaking of prayer, we need for you to document for us your favorite church where you worship and maybe some of your involvement of that. Would you document the good things on your bio here?
Yes, ma'am. I belong to McIntosh Chapel CME Church, and it is located here in Grand Prairie, 2129 Beaumont Street. And there I consider myself a good member. And my favorite of all is Sunday school. So try to be on Sunday school each Sunday on time. And I also work with the toll church, actually. But one of the departments is missionary. I am the missionary worship leader. And also I am the Fort Worth District President, Students President of the 8th Episcopal District. And I enjoy that work very well because it is working with people and helping, caring and sharing.
And you're director of the education board for the church. Does this involve a lot of your time too?
Yes, ma'am, it does. Yes, and because that is one reason I guess I don't have free Saturdays, because that's when we have actually have meetings for the Board of Christian Education is Saturday evening. Each Saturday evening we're around the church trying to take care of our business. Mainly trying to get the young people, you know, involved.
All right, now let's get to your family. When we know that there's a lady of your importance in the community, and especially we're going to get to your work at the Dalworth Recreation Center in a few minutes, but let's talk about your personal family. Would you like to document them and let us know where they are and how excited you are that they're your kids?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
My husband, A.G. Stanton, who is retired, semi-retired, and my daughter, Rhonda Stanton Smith. Rhonda's in nursing, and my oldest son, Arnold, he works for one of the large companies here and has his own little business in cleaning service. And my youngest son, our youngest son, is Lawrence Stanton, and he is employed at one of the larger businesses here.
All right.
Yes.
Do you have any grandkids?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Oh, let's name grandkids. That's important.
Grandkid is Chad.
Okay.
And Hope Lorraine.
Okay.
Yes.
Do they live in Grand Prairie, Texas?
Yes, ma'am, they do.
Do they go to school here in Grand Prairie?
Yes.
All right,
yes,
you'll name drop
here.
that.
Well, Hope Lorraine go to Dalworth Elementary. She is an honor student in Dalworth, and Chad goes to Bonham.
And to Bonham.
Yes.
All right, that's wonderful. You have a magnificent little family, and I know they give you a lot of support as a family.
Yes.
All right, now let's talk about the real world that we know you in, Johnny Stanton, and that is a very important key to the Dalworth Recreation Center. When did you go to work for the City of Grand Prairie in recreation, and name what all you've done in those departments?
Well, I went to work, I think I can name the date. The City of Grand Prairie, it was December the 11th, 1973. That's when I went to work as a recreation leader and worked with several programs. And when I first started to working with the CETA workers there and performing programs. And from that time on, well, that's just has become a part of me. You know, it's promoting, and marketing. I said the work, you know, there at the center. The different classes, art and craft, that's one of my specials, what I like to work with. And anytime you come around the building and see paper flowers, well, you know, I've been somewhere around. So I always enjoy doing, you know, any type of craft.
All right, now, other than your work at the Recreation Center, you have a couple of very wonderful spin-off things that's happened to you, and you've brought much recognition, even nationally, to the city of Grand Prairie. And name those two projects, and let's show and tell some pictures, shall we?
Okay, those two projects, the Just Say No to Drug Club, which started in 1987. And from there to 1988, a spin-off, Let's Talk About It Girls Club. So those two clubs have really been very, very dear to me and continued. From the beginning, you often wonder, you know, if it will continue, but it has. And it has really been a help to the children, to the parents, and to the entire communities.
Johnny, do you feel like that, just like the girls in the Just Say No or Let's Talk About It girls, do you see that you're getting more than one generation? You'll get some of the young ladies and then their sisters and maybe cousins on down the line will follow through, and do you think you're making an impact over more than one generation?
Well, I think so. I really do. And just a few, well, in January, we celebrated the Just Say No to Drug Club, and we did have some of the originals who had been there the 7 years, and that was something, you know, very amazing. And then from there, we have some of the little ones coming on now that comes back. Some of their parents have gone through the club also, so they are coming back. They are small, but, you know, you have to plant the seed early into the child's head, and then you get it on their mind what they want to be or what they don't want to be, and that is what really helps and what it counts, you know, with the children's.
All right, let's show and tell some of these pictures, and if you'll hold that one up right here, and we'll see if our camera can get these two shots. And which one is that? Is that the Let's Talk About It girls?
This is the Just Say No.
That's the Just Say No. And how often do you meet while you're holding that up, Johnny?
We meet every week.
Oh, every
week.
Oh,
every Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock we meet. And our age group is from 5 to 18. And then now what has been so rewarding, we have parole people that come in. They are authorized from their parole officers. So
Yes.
they sit in every so often.
And that gives them credit on their community
Yes, ma'am.
service if they come and sit in on your sessions?
That's right.
All right. And what do you all do at these meetings?
At these meetings, they are prevention meetings. We meet, we have presentations, and that is teaching the kids to say no to drugs, self-esteem, motivating. So all of the good things, you know, that we can kind of keep them going and keep them feeling good about themselves.
All right. This is a good picture. We're really going to have to show and tell this one. And this is what?
Now, this is the Let's Talk About It girls.
Now, let's see. I have a little bit. Now, that's going to get that a little bit better without the glare on it. And those are Let's Talk About It girls. And how often do y'all meet, and what do y'all talk about?
Okay. The Let's Talk About It Girls Club, it meet every Wednesday.
Okay.
Each Wednesday at 6 o'clock. So we have presentations, you know, there. And also sometimes just rap sessions that the girls would like to talk, because the girls like to talk about some things that they don't talk about at home, maybe can't express to mama. So they can come, you know, there and talk. And it is also a motivating, you know, club, because a lot of these clubs, girls, in bringing different presentation, it has really motivated them to do outstanding things. And some of them have gone to beauty college because we have someone to come from the different beauty schools and modeling classes and just different things that will strike their fancy. That is what we try to, you know, have for them.
All right. Now, I know that you've been recognized nationally. Let's show and tell this and tell us about how you were recognized in this national book.
Okay, this is from the Just Say No International Foundation. And it, at one time, it was in Walnut Creek, California. Now it's in Oakland, the headquarters. And as we progress along, we always keep a report, send a report to them on things that we are doing. So they, in turn, we got a chance at this time to be presented here in the newsletter. This is their newsletter that they sent out. And at one time, they sent us watches for all of the children's. And the Just Say No, they sent watches to them.
Yes.
Sure they did.
That was a great prize, wasn't it?
That's right. It surely was.
And I do know that I sit on a foundation board called the Quality of Life Foundation, and you recently qualified for one of our grants from the Quality of Life Foundation. And do you need contributions like this? Would you, do you think that it would be well taken if we could talk about, if you need contributions, let's talk about it, girls?
Yes, ma'am. Surely would. Sure would. We would just appreciate, because there are different things that we do for the children. Each summer, we take them on a special summer trip. This past summer, we went to the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas, and our transportation was furnished free because the We Care people, they were the one, Jim and Trish Martin, gave us our transportation free. So that gave us a little extra money to spend. And with the extra money, we took it and placed the kids in classes. That's what we do. We try to get sponsors, and if we get any extra money, we place them in classes there at the center, the class of their choice. And that's what we do. And we would certainly appreciate any sponsor, anybody want to sponsor a grant donation, we would be happy to receive it.
Do you ever have any fundraisers up there so that the people in our viewing audience, if they were notified of that, would be able to participate? Do you have any special fundraisers?
Yes, ma'am, we do. In fact, right now we're just waiting. We have a comfort to, you know, I would say raffle off. And so we're
going to take donations and let them have a ticket, and they get a chance
at that. They get a chance at that.
That wonderful comfort.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes. And who provided the comfort for you?
The comfort was provided, well, really, I would say the city of Grand Prairie, because it is the Autumn Fun Fest.
Oh, yes.
Yes, ma'am. It was in the quilting section, and that's where you go and paint and draw, you know, on the quilt blocks.
Yes.
And so it was formed into a quilt by one of our volunteer ladies, Miss Gloria Brothers. And so it is something to see. It is very beautiful.
That's a labor of love, isn't it?
That's right.
And you tell Sister Broadus that we really do appreciate her for putting this together, and now you have an opportunity to do other good things. What are your plans for this next year for, when you raise your funds, what y'all gonna do?
Well, this next year we are planning to go to some of the very important sites in Dallas and Fort Worth.
All right.
We're just kind of, you know, talking about it now, but that's what we plan to do, is to spend a few days taking the kids to the, you know, something very important, because all of our trips are educational, you know, to them.
Yes.
And so that's what we plan to do.
All right, now your hours at the Dalworth Recreation Center are from what time until what time and what days?
Okay. Mondays and Thursdays is from 11 a.m. to 8. And Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday is from 8 to 10.
8 till 10.
8 to, let me get it, Tuesday is from 1 to 10. Tuesday, Wednesday, 1 to 10. Friday is 8 to 5.
8 to 5.
Yes,
all
ma'am.
right. That keeps you pretty well tied up in taking care of kids and watching things and making things. You're probably the center of the Dalworth community there. And tell us where you're located near the Dalworth School so that everyone in the viewing audience will know how to get in touch with you.
Okay. We are located off of Southwest 19th Street. On Spikes, 2012 Spike Street.
Okay.
And our telephone number is 264-7670.
All right. Now, Harry Spivey is a very special young man because he's your boss, and he's the one that allowed you and I the time to come off down here today. And he said because it was Black History Month and because you were so special, he was going to give permission to do that. You want to thank Spivey for doing that?
I thank him very much, because whenever he does something real nice, I always call him Boss Man. So I thank you, Boss Man, very much for letting me come today.
That's wonderful. Now, would you like to look out and give an invitation to anyone that lives in the Dalworth community or its environs that would like to join your group? Give them a special invitation, and if there is a fee that they need to pay, let them know that, and if it's free, let them know it, and when you meet again.
Okay. Would like to invite each parent that have small children, age 5 to 18, to please come on Tuesday evening to our Just Say No to Drug Club. It is no fee. We just ask you to come as a volunteer and to help us, because we need all the help that we can get. Also, the same applies to on Wednesday evening at 6 o'clock, the Let's Talk About It Girls Club would like to invite all girls age 9 to 18. And we also, I cannot omit our IPC group, which are the Enriched Parents Committee, and they are volunteers and chaperone at the center. They also meet on the second Thursday of each month, and that time is 6:30 p.m.
Now, Johnny Stanton, do you have any affiliation with the senior citizens that sometimes meet in your building? I've been up there when you were wandering around into those tasting bees and all of this other good stuff. Do you have a spin-off into other areas other than your assignment that you've told us about?
Oh, yes, the senior citizen.
Yes.
That is also a part of me that I really enjoy. And we also have the Willing Worker Singers. And that is something very dear to me. There have been times that we have gone to nursing homes, in homes to shut-in ones, church, any place that we are asked, you know, by appointment, we will come. And that's something we are looking forward to also soon is on program, Black History Program singing, because we sing the good 100 hymns and we sing a cappella. So I really enjoy doing that.
That's wonderful. Now, when is your next performance of these Willing Worker Singers?
It is to be February the 22nd, and this is 12:30 at the Evening Chapel AME Church.
Oh, that's...
Reverend Johnny Ray Alexander is the pastor.
I was hoping that you had named your pastor when we talked about your AMC church a few minutes ago.
CME Church?
Yeah, CME
okay,
Church.
my pastor is Reverend James L. Smith.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. We need to get all of that into our record, don't we?
Yes, ma'am.
And to thank him for being a good shepherd and keeping y'all together, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, he has been my pastor for 18 years.
18 years, all right. Is there anything that you'd like to tell our viewing audience or leave on your record about what all you have done working for the city of Grand Prairie, the many experiences you had? Have you had some learning experiences? Have you had classes that have helped you as a person?
Oh, yes, I've had a lot of learning experience. And I have, I can say it has been very amazing, very rewarding, because there are places that I have gone, things that have done otherwise I probably wouldn't have, you know, had the opportunity to do so. And one thing is working with children, working with the adults, working with senior citizens. So it has really been an experience, and so many things that we have done working with the city, like the Autumn Fun Fest, and that is something just really wonderful, because you working with people, and that's something that's great with me. You know, it's just the opportunity to work with people, and you work with all ages. That's what I enjoy about the work with the city of Grand Prairie, and so many wonderful things that we have done. We don't do anymore, you know, some of the things that we have in the past, but I have enjoyed all of the wonderful years that I worked.
Have you done anything into the history of Dalworth as a community? Do you have any aspirations to maybe write your page in history there at the Dalworth area?
Yes, yes, ma'am. I sure could. I could write a book, really, actually, because the ones who have, so many have gone through the center. So many I have seen grow up as children, as just a little child, just on up. And I see some of the good things that has happened to a lot of our children's. You know, so it has been very, very rewarding, you know, working there at the center. It really has.
21 years with the city. What are you going to do when you grow up?
Well, I don't.
You're going to keep on. You're just going to keep on keeping on, taking care of our kids.
Oh yes, yes, surely will. Yep, I guess that'll be forever. You know, just keep on because.
You would like to stay and retire with the city of Grand Prairie, then?
I think I would.
When you get to that senior citizen age, right, John?
Yep, I think I would.
Yes.
Yep, I've enjoyed it, though, surely have.
And when you reach retirement, what does Johnny Stanton plan to do with her time then?
With my time then, I plan to volunteer. I would really like to volunteer at the hospital. So that's one of my, you know, plans that I'm looking forward to, really. Of kind of bringing cheer, you know, to I would just like to go and do something, you know, talk to the patients and try to cheer them up, you know, the ones who are not feeling so well. Maybe something I could do, you know, to bring some cheer to them and the families.
That's wonderful. You have had a good life in Grand Prairie, Texas, because you have given a good life to Grand Prairie. And we really do want to thank you, Johnny Stanton, for being such a wonderful quality of life developer, not only in just your own neighborhood there, but your outreach is tremendous. And one of these days we need to get you back on the show and tell us probably the most famous person that you've seen come through the chairs and through the Dalworth community that have gone on to greater heights. And I know that Robert Holt is one of the ones, and he has preceded you in the interview and is an author, a schoolman, an educator, a very exciting young person. And these are the type people that you put on the streets from Dalworth. And we want to thank you very much for being with us today and putting this history forward.
Yes, ma'am.
And thank your husband and your boss and your kids for letting you share this time with us today.
Thank you.
And this is Ruthie Jackson reminding you that history is as we live and do.